This is unreal. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Karl Jobst has leaked some new audio from the phone call between Karl Jobst, Muda from Some Ordinary Gamers, and the Completionist, Jirard, where he seems to imply a few things that really make you question what his intentions were with all of this. And I gotta be honest, beyond every mistake that Jirard has made throughout this entire endeavor, having this phone call between Muda and Karl is the biggest one. JT. The rabbit hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper, and I'm telling you guys, thank you first off for subscribing and checking out smashjt.com. I'm getting a ton of new subscribers and more people than ever checking out the website, and I genuinely appreciate that. There's been a lot of people that have been liking my videos, so I'm going to keep them coming, and for those that don't like them, sorry. Here's another one. I do plan on getting back to some video game news eventually, but it's the weekend. It's kind of slow news, except for this story. This is absolute insanity. Just to catch you guys up real quick, Karl Jobst and Muda from Some Ordinary Gamers had a private phone call with Jirard the Completionist before coming forward with any information regarding potential tax fraud, potential embezzlement, potential insane law breaking that Jirard potentially was doing. Lots of potentials here, you know, before it actually happened, before they came forward with it. And they gave Jirard ample time to figure his crap out. And instead of doing that, he basically implicates himself in the phone call by telling them different things that don't really match up. Like 2021, that's when he found out that the money wasn't being donated, but then later in that same call, it ended up being that was 2020 or 2022. And he was all over the place. He didn't even know when he found out about it. But then, even if we're to take him at his word, which is a stretch in its own right, but even if we're to believe him that he didn't know, he still didn't donate any of the funds until he got the pressure applied to him. And as soon as that happened, boom, $600,000 was donated to a frontal temporal dementia charity, which is what he promised all along for nearly a decade, but never actually did anything until the pressure got applied, even though he apparently knew about this a couple years ago. And in this phone call, he had explained that the reason why, after he found out about it, that he didn't donate it was because he needed to find the perfect place for it, and they just couldn't do that, and he didn't want to go to pay for a doctor's salary because for some reason, paying for a doctor's salary was not okay, even though that's literally the people that are doing the research, but whatever. Apparently, all that went out the window as soon as he realized, oh crap, I'm screwed, I need to get this money paid. This foundation, my family, we need to figure this out now and get the money out of here so people stop asking questions. Ultimately, ironically, all that did was make people ask more questions. And now, we have this new audio leak that's just, oh my God, it's so mind-blowingly insane that you just gotta hear it.
The last thing I want to do is ruin the legacy of my family, of my mom and her memory, especially because this is such a personal thing for the last 25 years of my life. I'm not trying to be like, do you guys want money to help me hide this? It's not what this is at all.
Jirard feels like he's going to guilt trip them into not releasing this story. And he starts off this part of the conversation by implying that if they were to, I don't know, pay him money and he could make it go away, they could just not talk about the story. If there's literally, I mean, obviously, I can't pay you money because that's wrong and that would make it worse. But like anything along those lines, I'd be open to, if you guys would be open to. Would that be cool? No? Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. But all right, let's carry on. Let me move on to the next portion of this.
I'm just asking from a humanity perspective of like, if I am the target of this, I have 20 mouths to feed. I have sponsors. I have a business. I'm trying to make video games. I'm trying to get out of content creation so I don't have to worry about YouTube anymore and do better things in the world.
If I am the target of this, it's always about Jirard, by the way, when you're a total narcissist, it's always, you're the target, you're the enemy, because, oh my God, everyone's just so evil in this world, and now I'm the target, they're coming after me. No, bro, you literally lied about donations for nearly a decade, and you continue to do it all the way up until you got caught, and you felt no remorse the entire time until you got caught, and even the remorse you showed was fairly physically weak, and then you threatened a lawsuit in the same video when you tried to show a hint of remorse. But beyond all that, then you start saying, I have 20 mouths to feed, which, by the way, if you guys aren't familiar with Jirard the Completionist, I've been following him a long time, and there's a lot of open heart videos where he just pours it on the table for his audience.
Did you know, fun fact, I'm sure you've heard me all say this tons of times at some point, there's over 20 people that work on all of our stuff here. 20 individuals who put their blood, sweat, and tears with me into making the Completionist, the Completionist New Game Plus, Super Beard Brothers, Weekend Warriors, the merch. We do merch in-house now. Every shirt you buy comes from our hands. The live shows that we're doing now, the live touring, Big Bad Bosses. Like, we're working on so many things. And that's 20 individual mouths, over 20, that I had to worry about feeding.
And that seems to be, along with putting his mother at the forefront of everything when asking for a charity, whenever he wants people to feel bad for him, he'll always talk about his 20 employees. And he always says 20 mouths to feed. And he always wants to make it sound like if you do something bad to him now, it's not him you're hurting, it's all these other families that are employed by him that you're ruining their lives. And you know what? You don't have to do that if you just ignore this and let it go. That's exactly what he's doing when he says these things.
And I just know, because of my track record of things like G4 exploding, me being friends with JonTron when he was a racist, I've been a part of pro Jared,
Okay, so he goes into this weird sidetrack talking about everyone else from Normal Boots, or most everyone else from Normal Boots, where he talks about JonTron and how he's a racist, which, by the way, side note, he was accused of it, but when you listen to it, he's giving his opinion on a situation, and it's very dry, very jagged, very not flexible with the world that we live in, and a lot of people didn't like it. But what JonTron did is literally pales in comparison to tax fraud and manipulation of your audience and embezzlement and all these other serious charges that have been levied against him. And he's trying to pile Pro Jared, who sends dick pics to people, and JonTron, who is accused of racist comments, which is just such casual stuff. And then you have him with, tax fraud. It's a much bigger deal. These other things are very trivial in the grand scheme. And what Jirard's dealing with is trying to pilot him with that, murky the waters, and make it seem like, all of us over at Normal Boots, or Abnormal Boots, or Abhorrent Boots, are a little bit quirky, and we might not actually follow the way society works, and we all make our mistakes, right? No, it's not the same.
Pulling one thread about the charity thing is going to upheave my entire life in a way that scares the living crap out of me.
Pulling one thread about the charity thing, one little thing, is going to upheave my entire life. This clip right here, Jirard knows just how deep the crap is that he's in. He's admitting that this one little thing, even though it's so tiny, it's so minute, it's not a big deal, but if it gets out there, it's literally going to destroy the entire house of cards I've created, because deep down, I know it's a huge deal. I know I'm trying to minimize it, but it's a huge deal. It's going to destroy my entire company, put 20 people out of work, and I'm probably going to go to jail. So can you not let that one little thing out there, and let's just move on with our lives? Please, pretty please.
I don't want to go home tonight and tell everyone, hey, there is a gigantic thing coming to claim my career, and you all have to close down and find somewhere else to do.
Do you notice how much he keeps saying I? I know it's a little bit subliminal and subconscious how he keeps doing it, because he doesn't realize what a narcissist he is, and he keeps making the entire situation all about him. You don't understand how I'm going to have to go home, and I'm going to have to tell everyone that I have to close down shop because I might have been participating in something that was pretty shady and not really above board, and now all of you are ruined because my decisions. I hope you, Karl, I hope you and Muda, hope you guys don't release this, please. You can hear the tremble in his voice. He's trembling, almost like verge of tears. It's It's authentic. It's real. It's raw. This is like the real world. This isn't fake drama for YouTube's sake. Like, he knows the consequences of his actions. He knows just how serious this is if it gets out.
I know this is shitty me to say this. I'm not trying to ask for sympathy or anything, but this kind of stuff, I mean, I've been following your guys' stuff for years. The stuff with Billy Mitchell, Karl, the stuff that you've done, Muda, with tons of content creators over the years. Like, there's no nuance to this. People are going to see this, and they're going to immediately go, that Jirard guy who's been nice to a bunch of people actually isn't very nice overall. Fuck him. Let's get rid of him.
He's not asking for sympathy. Hey guys, look, I know you, Karl. I know the Billy Mitchell stuff. I know all the good stuff you do, and I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan, right? Like, please, like, I'm like one of you guys. Let's just be bros on YouTube and be cool. Can you just, please let me off this one time? And I promise, well, I'll probably keep doing it, but I promise not to tell anyone else, and it won't ever be found out. No one will get hurt, and I'll still employ 20 people, and we'll all be fine. That's the approach, the mentality that Jirard has with this entire take, and it is so beyond insane that I can't believe he said any of it. Like, it's so stupid. Like, I'm just trying to take the perspective of being the bad guy, being the evildoer, being the guy that's manipulating people. It's like, why would you do this? You're literally taking the stand when you're trying to defend yourself, and you have no idea how to do it, so you just go out and admit everything and then try to be buddies with them so that they don't expose your ass. And that is definitely not going to work with either one of these guys, especially Karl. But either one of these guys, there's no way they're going to get like bonus points on YouTube and be best buddies. Like, no, this is like serious shit. And it's gonna come to light. And Jirard knows that. And the fact that he went on with them on a phone call beforehand, it shows that he is just so in over his head with all of this. And Karl and Muda, they didn't release the entire phone call. And I found that very interesting off the bat, because when they first dropped the information and it first happened, I was just like, okay, that's a few clips that Muda showed and a few clips that Karl showed. Where can I find the entire thing? I'd be interested to listen to the call. And Muda said, oh, there's some private stuff that they didn't want to have out there, and there's some other stuff they kept because of reasons, whatever. Well, it turns out the reasons are they kept like the most damning stuff for now, knowing full well that Jirard would try to play the sympathy card with his audience, try to play the good guy, and try to manipulate you once again. And they kept this in their back pocket, knowing as another punch to knock him down if he tries to get out of this, because they got him. They got him by the balls. He's not going anywhere. In releasing this, he's done. He is absolutely done. His career is complete. It is over. No more Completionist. It's done. He is never going to be on YouTube ever again. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in prison, because this, if it's as bad as I think it is, he's going to be going away, in my opinion, if it's as bad as I think it is. But that's all we have right now. That's the guilttrip.wave leaked audio from Karl Jobst, which still blows my mind. I was in Arizona this morning when it came out. I had an 8-hour drive in front of me, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I listened to this like probably 20 times today, just listening to his voice, the tremble in his voice, knowing the deep psychology beyond what he was saying. It was just kind of like the little hints you hear, how the words come out. Like, it's so hard to explain. But if you listen to this whole audio clip over and over again, you can tell deep down that Jirard knows he's screwed. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, you stay smashing.
So I think what I'm getting at is the money on YouTube is not viable. It's not a sustainable business model.
Smash it,